Guys, I can't wait any longer. It's getting late on a Thursday night, but I just can't help myself. We gotta get into this bad boy. It's the Drop Dead Nate from Under the Table Brewing, Mr. Nate and Brad Pico. This is my first introduction to any Under the Table brews. Haven't tried any yet. Haven't brewed the DKN yet. This isn't even the DKN. This is the Drop Dead. This is the imperial version of the DKN. I don't have specs on hand for this thing. I guess I could have gone back and watched the video or caught up and did some research before I started this, but bah. Let's see what this thing has to hold. Cheers, guys. Looks keg conditioned to me, but I don't know if this is going to hold the whole bottle anyway. Oh, look at that beautiful carb. Beautiful carbonation. And it's brilliantly clear. Wow, that's beautiful. Look at that carbonation. Got lots of little streaming bubbles holding up the head on top. It's a nice kind of light golden, like a little bit kind of a dark straw color. It's really pretty. I'm trying to get some in that light. Beautiful beer. All right, let's get a smell on this thing. Oh my goodness. So it's it's like citrus fruit right off the top. Maybe a touch of like passion fruit. So my wife and I got to go to St. Lucia last year. It just reminds me of sitting on the beach and they come up and they're somewhat scamming you, but they come up there and they cut all the fruit for you. And that's exactly what it smells like. It's like tropical fruit galore with just a little underlying kind of breadiness from the malt. To be honest, it smells a lot like my Imperial IPA after it's been aged for a couple of months. I was just drinking on one last night. It's about 2.5 months old now. It smells very, very similar. I wonder how old this is. Nate, let me know exactly when you brewed this or I'll go back and see. But awesome nose. It's holding on to the cap really well. Cheers, guys. Jumping in. Dude, that's it's fantastic. Wow, that's a good beer. Really good beer. Now this is gonna get strange because I don't usually, as far as well, I have a couple times. I don't really compare beers to my own necessarily. I did with Josh's Berliner just because of the style. I did kind of the exact same style. This tastes so much like my double IPA. Again, I would imagine they taste more similar to each other because, again, I don't know the ABV. I think the last one I did was in the 9.5% range. It's that little bit maltier. So once you get a little bit age on it, that starts to come out in kind of a little caramel, just a tad of caramel taste to it, a little sweetness, some nice breadiness, but those hops still pop through enough that probably when it was really young and fresh, this was a really, really hop forward and a lot of hops. in this beer. The hops are delicious. It follows the nose a lot of kind of tropical fruit, kind of maybe a little bubblegummy, but not like, because you can sometimes get bubblegum flavors when you have too high of fermentation temperature. It's not that kind of bubblegum. It's like a tropical fruit gum. Just, oh man, maybe a hint of kind of like a dankness. It's remarkably similar to mine, which I'm biased about my double IPA. I am in love with it, and this thing is right there with it. And dude, this is, guys, unbelievably good. The bitterness lingers on the tongue just a little bit. It's not even really when you drink it do you get that much bitterness. It's more just the hop flavor. So it's a lot of late edition hops, I imagine. I know that's how those guys roll. Oh, it's beautifully done. Up front, you get those hop flavors. Mid palate, it kind of slides off a little bit into your kind of malty sweetness. Just maybe a touch of like honey. And then the back end, that bitterness lingers just a little bit. It's not unpleasant. It lingers just a little bit. But I think it just lets you know you're drinking a big ol' IPA. You know what it really reminds me of? Sit here just trying to wrap my mind around, like, okay, what's this tasting like? How do I describe it? It tastes like a big Stone beer, a big hoppy beer from Stone. And that's a huge compliment because Stone knows what they're doing with their hops. But that's really what it reminds me of. It reminds me of a, gracious, it reminds me of a really well done, big hoppy Stone IPA. Really impressed, fellas. I'm gonna get the rest of this in here. I think it was keg conditioned, so I think I'll be safe. Holy cow, what a treat for a Thursday night. Guys, this is the Drop Dead Nate. And this is one heck of a beer. Now it's got me even more enticed about what the regular version's about. Those bubbles just keep on flowing. Cheers, guys. Cheers to Nate and Brad. What, I'm not even bothering. You guys know who those guys are. Check them out. Guys, have a great rest of your night. Oh, I got some sun. Real life redneck. Cheers, guys.